Ever get that feeling like these days, even jobs that sound, traditional are getting like a total tech makeover?
Totally.
Like we're talking about one today that really proves it, the medical records clerk.
Yeah.
Forget those like dusty file rooms, because this role is going digital.
It's true. We're in the age of electronic health records, or EHRs,
Yeah.
which are basically like, think of them as superpowered digital versions of those old paper charts.
Right, right.
They can be shared securely between healthcare providers,
Mm.
which is like a total game changer for patient care.
Okay, so less like paper pushing, more digital data diving. So what does a day in the life of a medical records clerk actually look like now?
Imagine this. A patient walks in with a stack of medical history, test results, the works, all on paper. The medical records clerk takes that information, makes sure it's accurate, and enters it into the EHR system using, specific software.
So they're kind of like data detectives, making sure everything is accurate and in the right place.
Precisely. They're the bridge between the old system and this new world of digital healthcare.
Yeah.
And because we're talking about someone's health history, accuracy is absolutely essential.
Oh, yeah, that makes total sense. No room for typos when you're dealing with someone's well-being. Now, where would a medical records clerk typically work? Are we talking like exclusively hospitals?
Hospitals are a big one, of course,
Sure.
but they're also vital in clinics, private practices, insurance companies. Basically, anywhere that manages patient information needs a medical records clerk.
Okay, so a pretty diverse range of work environments. What about the pros and cons of this career path? What are the perks and what are the potential downsides?
Well, one of the biggest advantages is the stability.
Okay.
Healthcare is a field that's always in demand, and as EHRs become even more integral to how healthcare operates, medical records clerks are going to be more important than ever.
Yeah, job security is definitely a huge plus these days.
Absolutely. And along with that stability often comes a solid salary potential. It's not just a job. It's a career path with potential for growth.
That's reassuring to hear. But let's flip the script for a second. What are some of the challenges someone might encounter in this role?
Like many healthcare positions, there can be stress,
Right.
deadlines, confidentiality requirements, and the sheer volume of information you manage can be demanding. In a hospital setting, long hours can also come with territory.
That's understandable given the 247 nature of healthcare. The RoleCatcher guide mentioned limited patient interaction as both a pro and a con, which I found interesting.
It really boils down to personality. Some people thrive on direct patient contact, while others prefer a behind-the-scenes role. Being a medical records clerk allows you to focus on the details, the organization, and the technology without the constant demands of face-to-face patient care.
It's a good reminder that one person's pro is another person's con. So for those who are detail-oriented and tech-savvy, what skills are essential to thrive as a medical records clerk?
Organization and attention to detail are paramount. But then there's the technology side. Proficiency in computer systems is a must, especially with specific software like electronic health record systems, practice management software, and medical billing software. Strong data entry skills are also essential.
It sounds like it's not just about knowing how to use the software, but also understanding the implications of that data for patient care.
Absolutely. A good medical records clerk needs to be adaptable, always ready to learn new systems as technology evolves, and they need to be incredibly mindful of cybersecurity and patient privacy.
Those are some high stakes. You're dealing with highly sensitive information, and one mistake could have serious consequences.
Exactly. Understanding HIPAA regulations, which protect patient privacy, is non-negotiable in this field.
So we've established that this role requires a unique blend of meticulousness and tech savviness, along with a strong sense of responsibility. But what about someone who's looking to, climb that career ladder? What does advancement look like for a medical records clerk?
It's a field with, surprising growth potential.
Mm-hmm.
A medical records clerk could rise to a supervisory role, overseeing, a team of clerks, for example.
So there's a management track within the specialization?
Absolutely. Or they could move into a more specialized area, like medical billing and coding, which builds on a core understanding of medical terminology and data. Some even transition into becoming health information technicians, a more technical role focused on managing and analyzing patient data on a larger scale.
That's fascinating. It seems like a solid foundation in medical records can open doors to a variety of paths within the healthcare system.
Exactly. And that's where continuous learning becomes crucial.
Makes sense, especially with healthcare technology evolving so rapidly. What does, continuous learning look like in this field? Are we talking additional degrees or something less formal?
That's the beauty of it. There are so many avenues. A formal degree in health information management can be valuable, but it's not the only path. Online courses and workshops are fantastic resources for gaining, targeted knowledge in areas like medical coding, data analysis, or even healthcare cybersecurity.
And these are things someone could pursue while working full-time?
Precisely. They can upskill on their own time, at their own pace, which is incredibly valuable for those balancing work and life commitments. Plus, many online courses offer certifications that can really bolster a resume and demonstrate a commitment to professional growth.
It's like leveling up your skills in a video game, but for your career. Each certification adds another layer of expertise and credibility.
I love that analogy. And speaking of credibility, networking is another powerful tool for career advancement that often gets overlooked.
Yes, the classic, it's not what you know, it's who you know. But seriously, how important is networking in a field like medical records?
It can be incredibly beneficial. Joining professional organizations like the American Health Information Management Association, or HEMA for short, provides opportunities to connect with other professionals, stay updated on industry trends, and even learn about job opportunities.
It's like having access to like a network of mentors and insider information.
Exactly. Many of these organizations offer mentorship programs and career counseling services specifically for members. They understand the unique challenges of this career path and provide tailored support.
That's fantastic, a built-in support system for your professional journey. Beyond those personal connections, I imagine these organizations also advocate for the field as a whole.
Absolutely. They are at the forefront of shaping policies and standards related to health information management. They ensure that the voices of medical records clerks and other professionals are heard, especially as technology continues to evolve at such a rapid pace.
It makes you realize that it's not just about managing data, it's about being a part of something bigger, influencing the future of how patient information is handled.
You've hit the nail on the head. And that brings us to another critical aspect that we haven't explicitly addressed yet, the importance of soft skills in this role.
I was hoping we'd get to that. We often talk about how, like in any career, soft skills can be just as crucial as technical expertise. What are some of those key soft skills that employers look for in a medical records clerk?
Communication is at the top of the list. You're constantly interacting with doctors, nurses, administrative staff. Clear and effective communication, both verbally and in writing, is essential.
Even though there's limited patient interaction, you're still part of a larger team working together to provide care, so those like people skills really come into play.
Absolutely. Problem solving and critical thinking are also essential. As a medical records clerk, you're dealing with data all day long, and sometimes that data might be incomplete, inconsistent, or even downright confusing.
I can see how that would be a regular challenge. You'd need to be a bit of a detective, piecing together information and using your judgment to ensure accuracy.
Exactly. When you encounter a discrepancy, you need to think critically, troubleshoot the issue, and find a solution that maintains the integrity of the patient's medical record. It's a lot of responsibility, but it's also what makes the role intellectually stimulating.
It's like being a guardian of information, ensuring its accuracy, accessibility, and protection.
That's a great way to put it. It's a responsibility that shouldn't be taken lightly. The decisions made based on this information can have a profound impact on people's lives.
It's a powerful reminder that behind every data point, every medical record, there's a human story.
Beautifully said. So, to bring it back to the big picture, we've talked about this role in a somewhat isolated way, but in reality, it's a small piece of a much larger and more complex system.
It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day tasks and lose sight of how it all fits together. How does the role of a medical records clerk fit into the overall ecosystem of healthcare?
That's a question more people should ask. We had to focus on the doctors, nurses, specialists, those on the front lines of patient care.
Rightfully so. They're the ones with the most direct impact.
Of course. But behind every successful medical procedure, every accurate diagnosis, every effective treatment plan, there's a whole team of professionals working diligently behind the scenes to make it all happen.
And medical records clerks are a vital part of that, like often invisible team, ensuring that the right information gets to the right people at the right time.
Precisely. They are the information architects of the healthcare system, organizing and managing vast amounts of data that inform every aspect of patient care.
It's like they're the the stage managers of a grand production, making sure all the moving parts work together seamlessly.
What a perfect analogy. They might not be in the spotlight, but they're, essential to the success of the entire show.
And as healthcare evolves, so too will the role of a medical records clerk. Speaking of which, we've talked about the skills, the tech, the career paths, but let's get down to brass tacks. What advice would you give someone who's like ready to take the plunge and actually start applying for these roles? Where do they even begin?
It's a question I wish I had a better answer to back when I was first starting out. It can feel overwhelming, navigating the sea of job boards, company websites, networking events.
It's true. Job hunting can feel like a full-time job in itself. And this is where I think a tool like RoleCatcher can be a real game changer. It's not just about finding any job. It's about finding the right fit and being strategic.
Okay, I'm all ears. How does RoleCatcher help someone cut through the noise and find those, golden opportunities?
Well, instead of having to scour the internet, RoleCatcher aggregates job postings from all over major job boards, company websites, even those like niche industry sites.
That in itself is a huge time saver.
Yeah.
But it's more than just a centralized job board, right?
Exactly. The magic is in the personalization. You create a detailed profile, your skills, experience, career goals, even your ideal work environment.
So it gets to know you and what you're looking for in a career.
Exactly. Then it uses some pretty sophisticated algorithms to recommend jobs that are a good match for your unique profile. It's like having a personal headhunter in your pocket.
That is seriously impressive. It takes the guesswork out of the equation and points you toward opportunities that actually align with your strengths and ambitions.
And it gets even better. Remember how we talked about tailoring your resume and cover letter to each job description? RoleCatcher can actually analyze a job description and pinpoint which of your skills and experiences are most relevant.
Wow. Talk about a secret weapon for crafting those killer application materials. No more staring at a blank screen trying to figure out how to make your experience fit the job requirements.
Exactly. And once you land an interview, RoleCatcher is there for you again.
We touched on their interview prep earlier. How does that work in practice?
Well, you can actually use RoleCatcher to practice answering common interview questions. And here's the key. These questions are specific to the role of a medical records clerk.
So it's not just general interview advice. It's tailored to the nuances of this specific career path.
You got it. They even have AI-powered feedback that analyzes your responses and offers suggestions for improvement.
That's like having a personal interview coach at a fraction of the cost. This is all really impressive, but is it expensive?
That's the best part. RoleCatcher offers a lot of these features for free.
Seriously, that's incredible. They're really making these tools accessible to everyone, which is fantastic.
It's about empowering people to take control of their careers and pursue their goals with confidence.
Which brings us back to something we keep emphasizing. The human element at the heart of healthcare. Technology is incredible, but it's the people who make all the difference.
It's about those skilled and compassionate individuals working behind the scenes to ensure patients are getting the best care possible, and medical records clerks are a vital part of that equation.
They're the unsung heroes, and as we navigate this, ever-evolving worlds of healthcare technology and patient data, their role will only become more critical.
And for anyone listening who's intrigued by this blend of technology, organization, and compassion, a career as a medical records clerk might be the perfect fit.
And if you're ready to explore that path, remember, you don't have to do it alone. RoleCatcher is a fantastic resource that can guide you every step of the way.
Couldn't agree more. Well, that about wraps up our deep dive into the world of medical records clerks. It's a career path full of, surprising twists, evolving challenges, and most importantly, the opportunity to make a real difference in the lives of others.
It's been a pleasure joining you on this deep dive.
And as always, thank you for listening. We'll catch you next time for another fascinating deep dive into the world of work.